Trigger warning. The following content may include sexual content, excessive or gratuitous violence content, Build-A-Bear Workshop content, death and or dying content, naked Mitch McConnell, and doom scrolling. If you are offended by the aforementioned content, please stop listening and go ahead and give a 5-star review anyway. If you are not offended, you are probably a terrible person and have discovered your people. Welcome, new listener.
You're now tuning in, so get ready for your mindless and sometimes mindful hosts, Josh, Jenn, and their very special guest for the morning. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. I hope you guys are ready to get mindless. We are here with Jenn, our new co-host, and beautiful Sheila Conlin. So there is much to say about this wonderful casting director because she's made some of the, well, basically you have created the best shows because your process, your job is what makes these shows.
Yes.
So, but first off, how are you today?
I'm great, and thank you for having me on. I love the title of your show, Mindless Mornings. That's pretty much me every morning.
Yes.
Awesome.
And it doesn't, hold you up to very much, high of a standard. You can get on here and just be chill.
That's right.
And if you get absolutely mindless, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Our name is our disclaimer. So, I mean,
I love it. I heard the interview with Scott Page. Yes, that was awesome.
I'm sorry you watched that and you're missing out on Nick. But
oh man,
this is the new permanent host.
I'm Nick Jr.
Nick Jr. Okay, cheers.
we're just gonna call you Nicole.
And that's my middle name, dude. It was meant to be.
There you go.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah.
So tell us what it's like being a casting director. How is that?
Well, that's a very interesting question because casting director typically, and this is before reality television, right? Casting director is someone who reads through a script with a director, writer, producers, marks it up, and then goes out to agents, managers. How do we find the right actor, actress for these parts, right? Then they bring them in, they have them read, they audition different actors, turn it over to directors, producers, help make the deal, whatever, and move on. So it's actually a very interesting title in reality TV, and it should probably be changed because that is not at all what I do. Nothing I just described is how it works in reality TV at all. So as you said earlier, the casting is the most important part of a reality show, right? If you don't have a cast, you really don't have a show. Right. Because they're everything. So they're our talent. It's not a script. Sure, we have a show outline. We have a format, but it's about the real people. And when I started in the very, very beginning of reality TV, I helped create, well, I shouldn't say helped. I did create all the systems and structure on how to find real people for these new shows. Right. So my job, I wear many hats. So it's, in development, working with the producers, working with the creators of the show, working with the network, working with the legal team, working with the background team, which is, the ones that do the physical and the mental and the criminal checks, because we're dealing with real people. So it's an entirely different process. So in the very beginning, I really felt like, and I still do, I'm a therapist. I'm a private investigator. I'm a marketing strategist. It goes on and on. And on top of that, I usually have to create a team, a staff, train them. And that's, casting producers, casting associates, researchers, editors, because the whole front end of creating a reality show, after you have the concept and the format, when you go after the cast, it's a whole process. I would do a budget, a timeline, a strategy on if we're going to cast all over the US. I've done shows where I've cast in other countries. It's an amazing process. So it's a full-on business, right? And then you work with the producers in the network as we're finding people, interviewing them, editing the interview, presenting them, and then along with that comes a lot of paperwork. Everybody's got to fill out an application. Everybody's got to fill out another form and then another form. So it's not at all what I described as the typical casting director that we all know in film and TV, right? So what's it like being a casting director in reality TV? It's crazy. It's busy. It's exciting, especially when I'm doing a brand new show, first run show, which that's typically what my specialty is, any kind of brand new show, something that's really crazy, something that's really hard to do, challenging. So I love that. So it's great. And people are in my business. I love people. And so meeting people, learning about them, talking to them, it's a lot, but you also absorb everything about all these people. And if you can imagine, interviews are 2 hours long. Yeah. And then you do another one, and then there's another one. So it's a lot. You learn a lot about a lot of people. But, I have to say reality TV was, great new genre of television. And it was about giving people, in the beginning, I feel it was 5 minutes of fame and to challenge them. Now it's like, okay, now you have 15 minutes of fame. What are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
I can totally, cool. I feel like I could be a up and coming casting director as a hairdresser.
Yes.
Because I get to know people like little short spurts, but you can tell a lot by a person in that amount of time if they actually like open up to you and you ask the right questions. So,
and sometimes you only have to ask one question.
Right. Yeah.
And then they do everything.
Exactly. I love those kind of people because then I'm like, and blow drying their hair, like talk to me, we can talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And to me, that's sort of a great person that I'm interviewing. If you can ask them one question and they just let it go. And then of course you have to rein them in and you got to, move on to something else. But the opposite of that, if someone is only giving me 1 or 2 word answers, it just eventually, and I'll really stick in there. I will stay the long haul because initially I would have found something or there's something that I'm intrigued about, but you want someone that's going to talk a lot.
Well, yeah. Like who's going to listen to somebody that's like, I'm cool. That's good. Like, and you never learn anything about their actual personality on a TV show, like, aren't you at some point you're looking for, like, do y'all look for dramatic?
Well, see, that is what has happened to this industry. And it's turned into like, oh, casting is, you cast the villain, you cast the bitch, you cast this. And you know what? I still stand behind this. I never looked at it that way. And I look at a person as a whole. We all have 8 different emotions or 20 different emotions. When our buttons are pushed, everybody's buttons are different. We all have different reactionary reactions to things. So no, I don't peg anyone to be a specific thing. I think that would be too narrow of a casting. A lot of shows later on, and as the business grew and it got bigger, people did that. Oh, we just need the bit. We just need this person. We just see that. And I'm like, you're missing the point. You're missing the authenticity.
The Bachelor's just become like I was in it in the beginning. I was so into it. And then it just
drama. Do you need the ratings?
No, but it's so dumb that people are still watching it when it's so fake,
is, but unfortunately, that's
here's the thing.
Majority.
I was going to call you Zome Dad.
Yeah, Josh, you even changed your name.
Zome Dad.
Hey, Zom.
Hey, Zom Dad. No, the thing is, yes, drama and intensity and the cliffhangers and all of that stuff is what is supposed to happen. And that's why we're drawn to it, right? We kind of want to watch a train wreck in a sense. And I don't call all these shows train wrecks. You can get that without, there is a natural way. There is a natural progression. I think one of the best shows for me to describe that is Hell's Kitchen. They're put in a situation where it is real. They're cooking. It's under pressure. If they don't cook something right and someone eats it, they could kill them or make them very, very sick.
Right.
There's all of that stuff, but it's the bubble that you put them in. So on The Bachelor, that's a really big bubble. I mean, they take them and, same with Hell's Kitchen. They take them, we put them in a bubble. There's no communication with their family, their friends. They don't watch TV. They can't be on their phones. So that you believe what is going on. You're in that world. So when that's all your world is, oh, for sure, Jen, you and I are going to have at it, whether we would have been best friends outside, right?
We're going to be best friends, and we're going to team up against the other ones. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Until the very end.
Can you give our listeners like a list of all the shows that you? Well, not. I mean, you don't have to go through
so many.
The long list, but you know.
Oh my gosh,
the biggest ones. Do like the.
Yeah. Okay. So some of my biggest was Hell's Kitchen, which I love. I think it's in season 19 now. Kitchen Nightmares, which is one of my absolute favorites because I really helped take that show from the UK and adapt it to the US sensibility. It was sort of my baby. And then from there, we spun off and did Hotel Hell, which was very similar to Kitchen Nightmares. And I just love that. But the other one's Nanny 911. That was one of my favorites.
Okay, that's what I was going to. Is that the lady that would come in, swoop into your house, and fix your kids for you?
Yeah.
Yes, but that was Super Nanny.
Okay.
Super Nanny was on ABC.
Okay.
And so that came from the UK. And all the networks wanted Super Nanny. So they were all bidding on it. ABC got it. I was doing Hell's Kitchen and all the other shows at Fox. And so Fox was like, we need to have our own nanny show. So we immediately went out, but we changed it up. We had 3 nannies. And I swear we had Nanny Deb. She is Mary Poppins reincarnated.
I love Deb.
Isn't she amazing?
I need to watch this. I don't think
the
it's
most incredible lady I have ever I wish I could say I bet, but I just seen on TV.
No, she is amazing. And then we had Nanny Stella, but my kid was
a little mean.
Yeah, Nanny Stella was more the don't cross my path. But I was raising my son during that time. I was doing Nanny 911. I learned so much. I learned so much from Nanny Deb and Nanny Stella. And my kids loved them. Yeah.
Can you still get in touch with them and hook it up?
Yes.
Maybe all 3 of them I might need at the same time.
Did you have children?
4. And they're 3 of them are psychotic right now.
Yeah, they are insane. I can vouch for that.
Like 5, 2, and 8 months. The 8-month-old though, he's not insane yet.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I need them. I need those nannies.
Okay, go and watch the shows, and I'm not kidding you. You'll learn a few things. You certainly will.
But
don't
no, think that I'm just like that. I'm doing all the right things.
You're
I don't know, man. I don't know what you do, but I do know those nannies, like they pull some like really creative things to get those kids. It's like invisible puppet masters. Like they're the best kinds making the puppet show without the strings.
Well, they're also not the parent. So there's this great thing that there's a separation there, right? And what it comes down to, it's not the kids that are out of control. It's the parents.
Damn it.
That's what it comes down to. Hate to break it to you.
Damn it.
Oh, man, Jen.
Well, I'm doing it all.
You called yourself out.
I know. Can we just, we'll delete that part.
You delete that.
He won't do it.
I won't.
It's okay. I probably am. That's the thing about being a parent is at night, you're like, I just screwed this whole day up and tomorrow I'm going to do it better. And then you wake up and do the same shit again. And you're like, don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. So Nanny was good. Then Paradise Hotel. That was another one of my favorites. That was really early on. And then I moved on to, True Beauty. Did 2 seasons of that. That was very interesting. I did that with Tyra Banks, Ashton Kutcher. Do we have another one? Warner Horizon.
And Ashton as like wholesome as he seems.
He is. I did another show with him too, Beauty and the Geek. I did a little bit of work on that. He is hot.
I had no idea. Ashton Kutcher was part of Beauty.
I just love his hair. I want to run my fingers through his when it's longer.
He was executive producer. And then I did a development show with him. Oh, funny enough, called Parenting.
Oh.
About parenting.
Maybe I need him.
Yeah, maybe you need him.
Husband swap.
And then I think, what are the other ones? Oh, well, recently I did Skin Decision on Netflix. And that's about plastic surgery. It's about plastic surgery, new techniques, whether to cut or not cut, and how it can help. And it was really amazing stories from people. It was also taking the mystique or the the whole theory of, you're only rich, you can have plastic surgery, or it's just, to make you look like this,
right.
Find out. It was stories about people that had gone through something, or may just not like the way their nose looked, or this happened, and they just can't lose this or do that. It's okay. It's okay,
right.
For men or women. You can have a little help because the technology now is so amazing, and you could do a lot of stuff without cutting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still airing on Netflix. And then of course, Revenge Body with Chloe.
Yeah.
I love that.
I actually wrote that down to because I was like, I want to know about this. Is it out already, or you're working on it?
Oh, we've already done 3 episodes. It was on E, and we're not doing any more, unfortunately.
So is it just her getting totally toned out of revenge for what?
The story.
Now I have to watch it.
Yeah, you have to watch it. The story is, this was really actually a heartfelt thing, because she came up with, she was always the sister that maybe was a little heavier. People made fun of her. People sometimes said that her dad wasn't her dad.
Yeah.
She had a lot of bullying, right? So she finally one day woke. Oh, and then of course her husband cheated on her and was found in a brothel in Las Vegas, and all the shit hit the fan. So she finally one day just said that was it. She goes, she got herself in shape mentally, physically. She went to these top trainers, obviously, because she can afford it. Harley Pasternak, Gunnar Peterson, and next thing you know, she is transformed inside and out. She got her head together. She got confidence. She got, body together. So she started tweeting, look at my revenge body. This is for me. This isn't for anybody else. This is for me. And the producer that created the show, who I work with, Eli Frankel, he saw that post and he's like, that's a show. So he created the show and went to her, and she said, yes, I'd love to do it. So it was basically how I pitched it when I was looking for people to do it. It was like, have you, felt bullied? Have you ever felt like, did something happen into your life that you just can't ever seem to get over? And the results are weight gain or low self-esteem or whatever. So the beauty of this show, we didn't put them all in one house together. We wanted to make sure whatever they would learn from all these great trainers, that they did it on their own schedule. So they'd go to work every day or go to school, whatever they were doing. They had to go home and make their own food, and they had to fit in these training things. And these trainers that I cast, unbelievable. They became such an important part of these people's lives, and they really cared. And, and it was also not to turn everybody into buff and super skinny and all of that, right? It was to be your best self.
Yes.
And so I loved it. We did 3 great seasons. It was awesome.
Oh my God, I need to go watch this.
You should watch it.
That sounds amazing.
And again, too. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish.
No, I was just going to say, and the whole point too is finding what's best for you. And it wasn't about, you have to be a certain size or this or that. It was to be healthy and to feel good and to get started. Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, that's always important for sure.
I need to do that.
What is it that made it end after 3 episodes?
No, 3 seasons. 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much, it was a brand that was created around Chloe. I really wanted to do, we could have done
forever.
Revenge Body New York, Revenge Body, Chicago. But it was about her and her mantra. And so, after 3 seasons for her, they were still doing the Kardashians. She just, I don't know the real answer. We would have kept going. I don't know if the network was going to keep going or not, but it ended. That's all I know.
So, she has an awesome body. I actually just saw a post she made on Instagram today, and I was like, what the hell? I had to zoom in to see that it was actually her face and everything. She looks amazing.
And
dream
it's hard
body.
Work.
I know.
It's hard work.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I like junk food too much. So
I just hate exercising.
Exercising is okay. It's about the food.
Yeah.
A lot of it's about the food.
See, me, I'm the total opposite. Well, I drink calories like sodas and monsters and just all day long. No water, just all calories. And it makes me so mad because I'm like, if I cut all that, I know I could lose like 10 pounds just right there if I just drink water, maybe even 20. But I have like zero self-control. So, so what's the new thing you're working on?
Well, I think Zon. What did Zon?
What were you
I
guys?
wanted to ask, what was like the most hardest one for you to really cast for, like out of all the shows that you've done?
The hardest?
Yeah.
Meaning the hardest people to find, or the most challenging process? Because that's a kind of two different things.
I feel like hardest people to
The
find.
hardest people.
Yeah, I was asking about hardest people, but I mean, both sound really good now.
Okay. So,
I bet you have a story behind that other one too.
I think what I call layered casting, when there's a lot more people involved. So you have your dating shows. That's you're casting singles and a bunch of them for an ensemble cast. Hell's Kitchen. Your individuals that are going to compete against each other. I would say probably one of the most hard is Kitchen Nightmares, because you're doing, it's a family business, a restaurant. So you have the family entity that owns it. You have a chef, could be the owner. You have the employees. During that process too, it's a restaurant. People can quit. People can, it's just like they can quit, get fired. So for me, I think that was, and then, I mean, I fell in love with all the people, but again, you're dealing with, what I call, it's the kitchen. It's the kitchen patrol, the kitchen rats. I mean, I love them to death, but there are colorful characters in a kitchen, the dishwashers, the line cooks, the cooks, the prep cooks. People are colorful. That's why they're in that kitchen. They're artists. They're, they can sit in that heat and do it. There's something about them, right? So I think that getting that right team for each episode, that right mixture, that was challenging. The other one I would say is Utopia. And Utopia, you probably won't remember that. I love the premise of that show. It was fantastic. It was way before its time. It should be on now and should be just streaming 24/7, watching
were you,
them.
Asking about their survivability skills, or I'm sure you had to look for like a lot of different classes of what people could do.
Oh, yeah. We were building a society.
Yeah.
So I needed someone who was, very strong in their religious beliefs, right? Because is there going to be this religious thing in the society? Farmers, is it going to be composting, or is it going to, growers, farmers, but also business people? Because how are we going to make, do commerce? We're building a society. And then picking people like, I interviewed people from the 1% motorcycle gangs, because that was an interesting thing going, hey, they know how to run businesses. They do certain things, right? I interviewed former call girls. I had a surgeon who was ready to go. She was phenomenal. She was out of Florida, and she wasn't in the original cast, but we also, for that one, I had a cast. I probably saw over 5,000 people for the initial, picking that initial, I think it was 20. And then I had to keep casting because we were going to be rotating people in and out. And so that was insane. That was a 7-month casting process all over the United States. I had about 75 people working with me, and I had about a $3 million budget.
Oh, wow.
Just for the casting.
Wow.
That was insane.
That sounds insane to me. I don't know what a typical budget is, but wow.
Right. But it was that one was probably because it was so many different types of people.
Yeah.
So, and then how's it going to mesh? And again, it's very much a psychology. Who's going to work with whose buttons are going to push whose. And that's the right way to do it. Not just throwing someone in there to be a shit stirrer, right?
Yeah.
That sort of fizzles out for me.
Do you get so many of those that come for the calls though?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like you can tell like immediately. Can you do it like upon arrival now at this point? Or are you just like,
it depends on the show, because sometimes they're right, maybe not right for the show they're doing or applying for, but they could be right for another show I'm doing. So it'll be like, oh, let's bring you over here. But I can find the fakers right away. Fakers to me are ones that just want to be on TV.
Right.
And there's no authenticity. There's no depth. There's nothing more. And I always say, hey, you're great. Maybe you're beautiful, whatever it is, whatever their attributes are, go be on a game show or go do this.
Go to TikTok.
Yeah. Cause it's like, I can't figure out, I can't get to who you are. I don't think you know who you are yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're doing something for the wrong reasons, right? Or for their reason, they just want to be on TV.
Yeah.
So, but that's not what I want. So.
Right. You're like, I have a job to do.
Yeah.
You're not helping.
Exactly.
What else our listeners wanted to know about Gordon Ramsay, of course.
Of course. He's amazing.
He's not mean.
He's not mean.
Only one on the work field.
I don't even, he really is that way. But I think Gordon is a big ball of energy, right? He's so intelligent. He's so, he goes a mile a minute. He's got great ideas. He's always going. He's a triathlete. He's intense. He's an intense person. And running restaurants and being a chef, that's, and at the level of food that he makes and menus he creates and the restaurant, that's a lot. But he's an amazing guy, does have that personality. I mean, every time I'd see him, he would go, oh, Conlin, I can't do it. I can't do a British accent. Conlin, what kind of shit are you going to feed me now? Or do I have to eat some crap? And then, between Kitchen Nightmares and Hell's Kitchen, it's just like, I'm going to be sick. Because he tastes all the food. He tastes it. But the reason you see that personality on TV is because that pressure is on in the kitchen. It's on. And so there's no bullshit. It's like, he will call people out and it's pressure. But on the other hand, if you watch him in Kitchen Nightmares, he's pressure. He's no bullshit. But he breaks you down and then he builds you up, you know, and he's a teddy bear and he's a sweetheart. So again, he's a perfect person that I could describe to cast. He has all those emotions, all those facets. It's like a diamond. Yeah. And you get to see all of it, right? In certain situations, you see all those different facets of him.
In Kitchen Nightmares, I think it was like a 2-parter because this chick goes off or the family quits or something. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
You're talking about not Amy's Baking Company, the one in Arizona. No, that wasn't a 2-parter. Which one was the 2-parter?
I feel like it was a 2-parter because maybe she came back around and was like, okay, I was wrong, but she ended up freaking out.
Oh my gosh! I should have looked it up. It might have been the La Galleria, Three Sisters.
I think maybe
on the East Coast.
Familiar. Yes, it was so dramatic, and I was like, "There's no way this is a real person acting this way." So insane.
No, it's real.
But it is. I know. I just don't understand. I'm like, you asked for the help, did you not? If you could do this on your own, you wouldn't be on the show, right?
Right. But here's the point of that show too. I would say, look, if you're just going to roll over when Gordon comes in and you're going to, okay, Gordon, whatever you say, we'll change our menu. We'll do this. We'll do that. He's going to walk out and go, hey, fuck it. I'm not helping you. Where's your integrity? Where's your ball? What are you trying to build? Where's your restaurant? You've been doing this. So I always say, look, you have to stand behind what it is you want to create. So on the flip side of that, sometimes people don't know, and it's family drama. It's been handed down to them. It's got the pressure on them. They have other things going on in their lives. There's fighting, whatever it is. But the point being, it's you can't be a pushover. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of doing it?
Right.
So it's not, and it has to be real. They can't, I can tell you Kitchen Nightmares, nobody faked any of that shit.
Oh yeah, no, you could tell.
Yeah. It was real, those are the people that run and own restaurants. it's a tough job. It's a tough existence.
Yeah.
So, they've got a lot of sides to them.
That's super cool. So do they have to cook anything prior, or they're just vetted based on like their resume, or like to try out for the?
Oh no, I would go Kitchen Nightmares. Are you talking about Hell's Kitchen?
Or Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, either one.
Okay.
For the cooking ones.
Hell's Kitchen, we didn't want people to cook for us, right? They talked about their signature dishes. We would see photos of them. It was really about the interview process, their passion, how competitive they were, why they really want to do this. I mean, we did look at reviews or, checked references, where they worked, that kind of thing. But to all of us, it was really about how they were going to perform in that kitchen. Because let's just say you were on it and you had worked at, the neighborhood restaurant as a line cook, and maybe you went to this other little cafe and learned a little bit more, but you have this passion for cooking. You may not know all the talent that you have in you in the right setting or when you open up, right? So I think that was such of our process of going, let's throw them in there. What they needed more than anything of tasting their cooking, how can they think on their feet? Do they have a natural talent and passion for it? When they see those ingredients and they're given that moment, can they do it? That's again, like being an artist. I always equate a chef and an artist as the same type of thing, right? So that was the thinking behind that. We don't need to taste their food. It's like, let's see what they can do. That was finding a diamond in a rough. This was a great opportunity. Kitchen Nightmares, since I love that show so much, most of the times I would go and visit the restaurants myself in person. I did have a staff of casting producers because I couldn't be everywhere all the time, but we would taste the food. Oh my God, that was excruciating. I remember going to Baltimore. I mean, I had the best time in Baltimore and Philly and I mean, tons of places, right?
Yeah.
And
but the food is so gross.
I just kept saying, I'll have another cocktail.
This time it'll taste better.
Right. Because going in, you want to sit down. It's not so much about critiquing their food. It's about getting their trust, getting to know them. So you're sitting down, breaking bread with them a little bit and feeling the process, feeling what their space is like, what's happening, where's the chaos, what's going on. And then looking at, the food and the menu and having to taste it. Sometimes we would be like, yeah, we just had lunch. We're good. Yeah. We don't need anything.
So did Gordon ever make you guys food, like any of the staff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Is it food, like
Can't
a
even
foodgasm?
Yeah. So delicious, so amazing. And I know how to read a menu. I don't know how to read a recipe. So, I did learn a few things during Hell's Kitchen, but I still would rather read a menu than read a recipe.
Same.
I don't like to cook. And so it was such a treat when we'd be when we were at the tapings and we would get food sent over to our table while we're watching the show and everything going on. And it was just insane. And I don't eat mushrooms. I'm not a big mushroom fan.
Oh, I love mushrooms.
But I'm telling you, if he made mushrooms and the way he would make them, I ate them. I mean, and it was amazing. There's a couple other chefs too that have made mushroom dishes. And I'm like, typically I will not eat them. And then I eat them. I'm like, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that. That was delicious.
Yeah.
But I will only do it in those situations, right? Otherwise I'm like, ew, no.
It's true. Cooking is an art. And that's awesome that you guys got to try out the food, because that would be a big bummer. You're working with one of the most cool chefs, watching everybody cook food and you can't eat. I would have
and then I would go to I always would go to Gordon Ramsay Steak in Las Vegas. Oh my God. It's just to die for. It was so delicious.
Nice.
And then I worked with Bobby Flay. I've been at his restaurant. I've been at restaurants in London, Gordon's restaurant in New York, way back when it was called the London. And been to restaurants in, all over. I mean, fortunately with my career and what I've gotten to do in reality TV, I've traveled all over. I've been Italy, London, spent time in China, all over China, doing lectures and talking to broadcasters there about casting process, how to do it, how to develop shows. So yeah, I had to say it's been a wild ride for the last, I hate to say 30 years. Yeah.
That's amazing.
30 years.
No way. You've been doing this your entire life since you were a baby?
Yeah, since I was a baby.
She came out of the womb
Awesome.
doing it.
That's crazy.
I know. I started out really young, about 12. I'll admit.
I love it. No, seriously, you do look young and gorgeous.
Oh,
and your eye color is like, I keep looking at it like, how is
really? Is
yes.
Yeah, well, they're blue.
Yes, we can tell. Okay. They're beautiful.
I can't really see what I look like. I mean, I see my little picture up there, but I can't really.
Yeah, no, they're super blue. They're
cool.
I love them. I was always jealous because my brother got the blue eyes and I got the brown eyes, and I was just like, he doesn't even have to be pretty. Like, why did he get, the blue eyes and the long eyelashes and stuff?
Yeah.
The boys.
I'm the only one that got the blue eyes in my family.
Nice.
Yeah, from my dad. Yeah.
Are y'all Italian?
No, I'm Irish.
Really?
Yep, Irish and Irish and Norwegian, and a little teeny bit of German, but majority Irish, quarter Norwegian.
Interesting.
Super cool. So I have to ask, what started this all for you? Like, how did you grow up to say, this is what I want to do?
I didn't. Let's see. Growing up, what did I just? I knew a couple things when I was little. I had an aunt who lived out in San Diego. She was my godmother, and I loved it when she came to visit me. And I always said, I grew up in Minnesota, and I always said, I'm either going to live in New York or I'm going to live in California. Don't know which one yet, but as a kid, I always said that. And I was a dancer growing up, and I did tons of shows. And then I, at age 14, started doing what we call industrial shows. So it was a professional, and I traveled, and I had to have a studio teacher and, be supervised, if you will. But I did a lot of shows and traveled around. And then I was... Oh, of course, you guys heard of Prince, right? He's from Minneapolis. So it was really strange. We would rehearse sometimes at First Avenue. And so crazy story, long story short, one of his dancers were injured. This was back for the 1999 tour. I was asked to fill in for one of the dancers. So I got to do that. It was yeah.
How old were you?
I was going to give away my age now.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was young for for doing that.
Yeah, I was 20. Wait, right out of high school, 79. So I graduated 79. I was 18, 19.
Yeah, young.
19. Yeah,
that's
and
amazing.
then I know. So that was great. So, but the thing is, what I learned when I was doing the industrial shows, right? We would go into a city, and then we would sit in the audience. It was empty, right? So it's empty, but we'd go in and we'd see the stage, and then we'd figure out when we do the rehearsal. I would sit down in one of those chairs in the audience, and I would watch how the scaffolding's going up, the lighting, this is happening, that's happening. I know all these things going on behind the scenes. And there was something in me that just clicked, and I went, I want to do that. I want to see, I want to put all that together, more so than being up on that stage. I had fun. It was great, but it wasn't like, I have to do that. Right. That passion thing and that little thing that just gets in your stomach, I was like, that's what I want. How much does this cost? How does this work? How did it, So, and, I worked with a lot of very talented people, great singers, great musicians that, went on to do some really cool things, but they were starting out back then. And so that was the other thing I looked at. I'm like, these are great people that I'm meeting, and I'm the youngest, but I also like the fact of how fun would it be to discover talent like that? Now, at that age, I had no idea what agent, manager, this, that, whatever. So anyway, I carried that with me. And then after I did, the Prince thing, and then it was time to, got to go to college, got to do this, got to do that. it was strange. My career is very, very crazy, but that's what I knew. I did know I wanted to put shows together, find people with talent, and I didn't quite know what it was. The only thing I did sort of want to go after was I wanted to be a record producer. And the only thing I knew about that was I researched and I wanted to go to Pepperdine in California. So I asked my high school counselor, I go, okay, I want to go to the school called Pepperdine, California. And they're like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, okay. So anyway, those dreams got squashed. But I did make it out to California, ended up in theater, which was amazing. Los Angeles Theater Center behind the scenes. Then I ended up, I have crazy ways how things just happen. Ended up working for Phyllis Diller as her tour manager. How I got that job was just crazy. I was applying to work for this manager when I was still at Los Angeles Theater Center. And I was like, oh, I want to work for a personal manager. I'll be an assistant. So I meet with him and he's like, oh, you're great. I'm going to make my decision in a week. So he calls me up. He goes, I didn't hire you, but I'm going to refer you to 2 agents because I think you'd be good working for an agent and they're women. And I went, I love it. Then within another day, he calls me back. He goes, no, do not go on those interviews. I have the perfect job for you. Show up at 163 South Rockingham Drive tomorrow or whatever day it was at noon. And I'm like, okay, really? And then I really didn't ask any more questions. I show up. There's all these TV cameras around in the front yard and it's this huge mansion. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So all of a sudden I knock on the door opens and it's Miss Diller. And it happened to be the day that Lucille Ball died.
Oh my God.
Everybody was there. All the news crews were there interviewing her, waiting their turn to interview her. And she brings me in. We sit in her foyer. Over to the left is the Bob Hope salon, this big painting of Bob Hope. Over here is like this real phone booth, like right out of London. It's like those old phone booths. Mm-hmm. And we talk and I have no idea, right? What's going on. I'm just like, okay, you're Phyllis Diller. Okay, I get that. And we talk and she finally goes, that phone's going to ring in a little bit and you should answer it. And I went, okay. So the phone in the phone booth rings. I pick it up. It's her manager. And he goes, you got the job. And I'm like, what job? I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's
because
crazy.
You're going to be her tour manager. And I'm like, okay. And I worked with her for 4 years and it was amazing.
Wait,
How did
was
she
that
know
her
that?
like house phone?
Yeah.
They had it timed.
Okay.
She was going to talk to me for a certain amount of time. The phone was going to ring at that time. And he was either going to say yes or no. Now, how did she get a message to him if she wanted to hire me or not? That I have no idea.
That's
There's probably a
amazing.
camera in the house and she just like scratched her nose or did some kind of stuff.
Maybe pulled her ear a little bit.
I think I have to think back because there was she had a personal assistant or executive assistant, Ingrid, and she had Elizabeth, who was her household person. And, I look back on that and I actually forgot to ask Milt, her manager, how that happened. I think there was a note passing that happened that they came by and she gave them a piece of paper.
Okay.
But Miss Diller was like that. So she probably had like a pink piece of paper and a blue and a yellow that were there. And there was some kind of code because we always had codes on the road. When she wanted to get out of a conversation or wanted to leave or she wanted to stay, she would tell, we would make up words or something ahead of time.
That's
so
amazing.
If I say, it's time to get some red noodles or something, I'd be like, oh, we got to go. So she always did those kind of things.
If somebody said that while I was talking to them, I feel like I'd be like, red noodles, uh-huh.
She hates me.
We know what that means.
Right. I don't think it was that obvious.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I don't know where red noodles came from. Jeez.
Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Really?
She's single, gentlemen.
I am single and I'm ready to start dating. It's been a while.
Are you going to do a show?
No. I will not do a show.
You could cast your own
I will
men.
cast it for you.
You'll
I've already
cast it
found
for
you
me?
some pretty good, we'll just reverse roles,
Right. Well, that'll be one hell of an interview. Now, I have a son who's 21, and I was with his father for many years. We never married, and then we split and still raised our son together. And well, I did a lot of the heavy lifting for some of the years. And
because we're the stronger sex.
that's right. And then, we're
I'm not even going to argue.
great. Yeah, we're great friends now, and everybody's happy and it's all cool. He has 2 older sons from a previous marriage that I have been instrumental in raising, and part of my son's life as well. Then I had another relationship that lasted a few years from someone that I had dated when I was back at the Los Angeles Theater Center.
Oh.
And he and I reunited in Shanghai, of all things. That was crazy. He was working for Disney, building the theme park there, and he's a technical, I forget, some kind of VP of technical theme parks. I can't remember his title. But when I was in Shanghai, I ran into him. And so we started dating and kind of rekindled that old romance. But then unfortunately, it didn't work out.
Yeah. You can't go back around usually.
So
I've tried.
What is your ideal bachelor? Whoever our listeners
can you
are,
see we're ticking
that match this, they could hey, how you doing?
Oh, interesting. No, this is good. This is good practice for me too, right? I think my ideal man is obviously someone. Well, what I'm really attracted to is someone who's super, super good at what they do. Top of their field. They don't have to be like, surgeon or something like that. Meaning passionate and love it and completely love what they do, right?
Have employee of the month on their record.
They could, lawyer, whatever that is, whatever they love. I mean, just in love with what they do, because that's important to me. Right. And a sense of humor. I'm sure a lot of people say that, but that's really important for me. Someone who, I'm a little bit of a hard to manage in a sense. I'm very much in control all the time, and I, make decisions and do that. So I need a guy that is strong enough to be able to go, hey, you need to chill out. Time to take a break. We're going to do this. I love a man that can make a decision, make a reservation, just decide we're going to go do this. And, you need a break. That's the kind of guy I need, but understands, not just doing it completely out of nowhere. Right. Understands what I do and how important it is. I would prefer someone right now that their kids are already grown up, kind of been there, done that. Right. And I don't know, someone who travels, love to travel, and someone has to love wine and food, cocktails, adventure. I'm an adventurous person.
All the things.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
What about do we like them tall? Do you care much about any of that?
That does not matter. It's really bizarre. I do not have a specific type or look. I mean, no, if I do have this look thing, right?
Right.
But in my relationships, they've all looked completely different. There's not been a type, but I am drawn to, I love long hair or longish hair.
You can have my husband.
He actually looks like Adam Driver.
He does.
Oh, okay.
And Kylo Ren, right? Are they the same? Are they one in the same?
That was the actor of Kylo Ren, yeah.
Which one was that?
Adam Driver, the guy who plays Kylo Ren in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Adam Driver. Yeah, for sure. Amazing actor.
I'll send them to you.
Okay, so here's my range. I like everything from Johnny Depp, Keanu Reeves. I mean, who's my other fave looking guy that Javier Bardem. I do like, that Latina, Brazilian type look. But then out of the blue, like someone like Martin Short, Like,
Oh,
I think
okay.
he's adorable. Okay.
He is really cute.
Yeah. So
What about like Richard Gere?
Yeah, Richard Gere. I always want to watch his movies. He's super sexy.
He's so sexy.
Totally. God, I was just thinking about this the other day.
This is where Josh is like, I guess I'm glad I got a chick.
Yeah, yeah, wait a minute. We don't want to talk all about my my undated life right now.
No, we're just getting the perfect man and ready. We're like making him, putting him in the universe.
Who was the other? There's a young actor. Oh my God, I can't remember now. But I was just like, I can't stop taking my eyes off him. And now I can't remember who it is. But no, I like interesting.
It was Josh of the Mindless Morning Show.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh my God. I didn't realize it was Josh. That's who it is.
Is that Mohawk?
Yeah, I don't know. I like character, you know.
Would you date a guy with like blue hair?
Depends.
I don't know. That was a long pause.
I know.
I had to stop and think because the immediate reaction, someone with blue hair is young, you know, that's all of a sudden that's where my mind goes. But if this was a dude who's, you know, artist, musician, I don't know, owns a bunch of galleries, whatever, and he's got part blue hair, hey, you know, and that's part of his thing. There you go.
I like it.
Yeah. I like motorcycles. I like boats.
Nice. Yeah. But jet skis are so much fun.
Whenever you find that, I'm going to take a break. And then you ask if they have a brother. We'll just go boating. You know, I'm really just trying to run away. I'm like, let me run away. You want to cast me on? You're good.
You just need a break. If you have 4 kids, you need a break.
And COVID.
Right.
But I'm not going to lie that like COVID actually helped me out because I didn't have to take said kids anywhere when I got them dumped on me like all at once. So it's good to go, you know, like, but now I'm like, now we're going to open up and I have to do things and like take these things around people. Oh my God.
It was sort of a good bonding, you know, there was times and you could just stay in your pajamas all day and go, hey, let's all hang out and do the best we can.
Man, that's what COVID has been. I said I lost all sense of like how to dress and how to like any of that stuff. I'm just like, I live in shorts and big t-shirts and.
Oh, so. I had to put makeup on for this. I've been all day, no makeup, in my sweats. You don't even want to see what's below this. That's
what's perfect though. It's like only from here up has to look good, you know? Right. So much less effort.
Exactly.
So I want to ask, what is your most recent things that you're working on and stuff that's coming up that people can look forward to seeing?
Okay. Wow. So let's see. I mean, I'm working on a bunch of development stuff and some shows that are really, you know, in a casting phase or development stage. Fascinating. A lot of them I will be producing and casting. So, you know, I've really moved so much out of just being the casting director realm after so many years of doing that. But obviously it's what I do best. So it's part of my process in development. But I mean, I worked on a show 4 years ago. I met a guy through my neighbor and I spent 3 years with him listening to his story. And then I took it to one of really good partner, someone that I had worked with before, and I partnered with them and we sold the show to Hulu. And it's a true story. It's a wild ride. It's about the rise and fall of Von Dutch and all the characters. And it's a story that you've never heard of before, the story that you don't know. So that's been a passion project that's been about 4 or 5 years. And it should come out in the fall, I think, but we're still filming it right now. So even through COVID, we've filmed and we've made it work, but it is so exciting. And sometimes I can't even believe that it's happening, but it is. Yeah.
Is this the first time that you've been like a producer of the show or like sold a show idea? No.
I had, this is the first really big thing that sort of came from me. Well, I shouldn't say that. That doesn't make sense. I had another one I sold to so I was like, wait a minute. The other ones
like
came
I've done tons of big things. Okay?
That's right. They came from me too. It's like spawning them. I sold a show to Bravo many years ago about 4 amazing chefs out of Norway. and we did a pilot. It didn't go to series. I produced on Kitchen Nightmares, produced on Hotel Hell. What was the other? I did another show. I sold another show. I think it was to Discovery. Oh my God, I can't even remember. Oh yeah, I did one Discovery Health many years ago. Yeah, there's been a lot, but it's the ones, some will make it past a pilot stage, some don't.
So even if it's just the pilot, they still buy it from you?
Well, they buy the show. They don't, they buy it, they don't go, here's your money and now we get it. So it's a process where we want to put it on our network. So you do all the deal making on paper, and then they hand you some money to work out the pilot and film it. If everything goes well and the timing's right for their slate. You see, that's the other thing. There's so many other components that are factored in. Even if your show's really, really good, somebody could have left that network and said, I don't want to do that anymore. There's so many things, right? So many great shows have not gotten on the air, and so many crappy shows have gotten on the air.
Yeah.
But hey,
we won't name names.
Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, the fist pumping though.
No. Yeah. But those were great characters, and it was interesting for what it was. Right. And and so it was, it was okay for that. But so then if we just don't go forward with the rest of the contract. Right. Okay. So it sort of ends at that point. Yeah.
Gotcha. Does that feel bad, or are you just kind of like, okay?
Oh yeah, no. For me, most of them, because I was so busy and always so busy running my business of casting all the other shows, creating new shows with other people, developing and co-developing with other people. So I'm running a full-time business with many employees, and so when I'm working on my own stuff and getting it to a point and going to sell it, I had to really pick and choose what I was thinking my little time I have into those. So yes, I was way more attached. Whereas people that do that as a business, they could have 5 or 6, maybe 2 or 3 of those are very close to them. And the other 3 are like, hey, we know we can sell that, but we're not super attached to it if it doesn't go. So yeah, for me, when I put my extra time and effort in that I had very little of, it would hurt if it didn't go, for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine, for sure. Do you commingle with people that aren't reality, like in the reality TV kind of world? Like, do you get to meet other producers, writers and stuff?
All the time. Yeah. Like Mike Fleiss, who does The Bachelor. I've known him forever. What are some of the other shows? All the Gordon shows have different producers, right? And Arthur is the main one. And then my friend Nellie Galan, we did the Swan together. Swan is her show. Hey, let's have fingers crossed that we can get that one back. It's really good. Nellie and I raised our kids together somewhat. She wasn't with her son's dad when I wasn't with my son's dad. They went to the same grade school. She and I are both working the same business. So it was like, let's share nannies. Let's share, rides, pickup, this and that. So, when you're in this business, of course, a lot of your friends are going to be the ones that you're working with or in that same industry.
Yeah.
Music industry. I mean, I have, I don't know. Well, you talked to Scott Page, but I also work with Scott, and we do a rock and talk show on Facebook and on YouTube. So I'm the only girl on the show with all the musician dudes. So that's a whole nother.
It's always like that. I feel like I was telling him, I'm like, I feel like there's not a lot of every guest I've had on my other show has been a male pretty much. I've had one female guest that got on and spoke her mind, but I feel like it's harder to find that in this industry for some reason, that doesn't have a filter so much, And
I have no filter. I have no filter. I never have.
Same.
Sometimes that would help me. I mean, I should say, of course it's going to help me because that's who I am. I'm authentic.
There's no way to turn it off.
Yeah, I can't be who I'm not. And other times, even just being a woman, and I hate saying the old cliche thing, oh, if you speak your mind and you speak up for what you need or want, then you're the bitch or you're the difficult one. And yeah, you know what? you get that rap all the time.
Yeah, John.
And I'm so sick of it. It's just like, you know, sometimes we have to speak louder because you're not listening.
Yeah.
And you're not taking notice of who's doing all the work and who's getting things done. And then of course, if I become annoying or whoever it is annoying, it's because, you know what? It's like you kind of get tired of it after a while. So, yeah, it's a whole weird.
I've been told I'm like bossy or naggy, and I'm like, just moving parts around to make it all come together, and then everybody's going to benefit from it. So don't bitch about it, you know?
Right.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. And I think, you know, and I do think, of course, I've learned over the years, you know, as you do, as you get older and wiser and what works and doesn't work. And of course, but boy, when you are on a path and you know, and I'm very entrepreneurial, and I started my own business because of the reality TV stuff. I found a niche. I
know everybody.
I never know how to say that. Whatever.
I say niche, but I've heard niche. I don't know.
And I think it's niche.
It is.
And, you know, I just went 100 miles an hour because you have to, and raise my kid at the same time. And so sometimes it's, all of a sudden you have to go, whoa.
Did you like ever feel like you were going insane?
Yeah, a lot.
Just, you know, from
a lot. And
it's a lot.
But you know, I thrive on deadlines. I thrive on a lot of stuff going on. I do have to get better at chilling out and, you know, taking a break. COVID helped me do that. I hate to say it.
Oh yeah.
Didn't have a choice.
Like, I've met my soulmate. I feel like you're speaking things I've been speaking, a lot of things. I'm like, I'm so type A. I thrive in chaos, but Josh is like, you need to try meditating. And I'm like, how do you stop long enough to like breathe a certain way? I don't.
Yeah, try it. I've tried. It does help. But you're in a different part of your life right now. You have 4 children, a husband, whatever you're doing, your hairstyle, your business, whatever it is, right? So you have to always look at where you are. You can't, I always said people say you have to have balance. I'm like, fuck balance. I'm like, there's no balance. There's no balance when you're a mom and running a company and trying to do this and there is no balance. You have to go 24/7. Yeah. You know, and I look at, and I'm not trying to do men versus women or anything, but a lot of the men that I worked with in the beginning, well, part of the growing of reality TV, right? They all had a wife that stayed at home, took care of them, took care of their kids. I think very few of those women, of most of the executives that I know and people I know, had wives that worked, right?
Right.
And so when you have that, I would have loved to have, you know, a husband or the full-time nanny or the whatever, right? Even a full-time nanny, you can't have them running your life. But when you have that support, you get to focus and you get to do everything. But when you're the one doing all of that, it gets on you.
Josh knows too.
There's that old saying that it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yeah, but my village doesn't want my kids right now.
Then you have a problem.
I know.
You need to find another village.
I need to put them in daycare. That's the only difference between like my daughter who's 12 and like all these young kids is that she was in daycare. So I didn't have to see the crazy 2-year-old hitting things over and over again. They fixed it for me.
That's right. That's right. She was just happy to see mommy when she got home and she was all happy. Yeah.
Yeah, she loved me.
She got all of that aggression out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what was the absolute craziest like audition you've ever had? Like one that you were just like couldn't believe even happened? if any. I'm sure you've had.
There has to be.
There's some. One, I'm just trying to think if it was Paradise Hotel or it could have been Hell's Kitchen. It could have been either way. I think it was Paradise Hotel. I got a lap dance.
Nice.
I did right there on camera in front of all my producers and network. Yeah.
Wait, so is this like you asked a question and then the lap dance came after?
it's just started to roll. I think we were talking about stuff, and I guess this person had done that before, and somebody prompted, well, what does that look like? How do you do that? And I was like, oh, why don't you try, let's use Sheila for that.
You're like, wait, was it a guy or a girl?
It was a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a guy in the room. I mean, obviously didn't get naked or take his clothes off, but he started to take off a few layers. They were coming off. I had someone start a fire in my office because that was Hell's Kitchen. They brought a hot plate. I was back in my office, and one of my casting producers was doing all the interviews up in the front of my office in our studio. And those were just running, like every hour. All of a sudden it starts smelling and seeing smoke. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? This guy pulled up this hot plate and he assured the casting producers, no, I'm not. I'm just going to plug it in. I'm just going to show you that I'm doing stuff. I want to do this for my audition. I just want to pretend. So she's like, okay. Well, when he plugged it in, the thing smoked and smarked and, and was starting to blow up. So that was crazy. The fire department had to come. God, what were some other crazy? I mean, there's been some crazy things when we go out recruiting. And I would always go a lot with my staff in the beginning because I was training them. I mean, this was all new. I was learning this and figuring it out in the very beginning. But we would go to clubs. We would go, look for hot young single people for some of those shows. I'd go to Mommy and Me classes when we're looking for Nanny 911 families.
How did you find those? Out of control.
Out of control. But it's really you just start locking in who are the parents, who has more than one kid under the age of 8 or 7. And it just starts to build up, and it's word of mouth. But yeah.
I'm just laughing because I could just picture a mom group where you're just trying to hone in on the most stressed out, crazy mom.
Well, I've done that. And I'm not going to be proud of this, but I've gone to a few other groups looking for certain things. But, we're not going to talk too much about the undercover private investigator type searches.
If you ever need that in Dallas,
I will call you.
Dress up in costumes and stuff,
Oh, okay. A little cosplay? Is that
yes. I'm gonna. Okay. I told Josh I'm gonna start wearing costumes for every interview, based on who we're interviewing. But I couldn't. I mean, okay.
Yeah, you can. See, that's the thing. I know about every type of person, fetish thing. I've gone to. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. There is nothing.
Vor.
Wait, you're going to tell me something I don't know. Vor?
Have you heard about it? VORE.
Okay, no, you got me.
You said VORE?
Yes,
what is
y'all. That? It is a fetish.
A virtual whore. Oh. No.
Oh.
that was my guess. I don't know what it is.
I've met a lot of those. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. It's a fetish where people basically enjoy seeing or pretending to be the person being wholly consumed by another person. So it's mainly animation.
Okay.
It's I came across it in a Facebook group. I don't even know what I just had to
deeper. It goes deeper than that. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then they look impregnated with the body and it's odd.
Okay. I vaguely I have not heard the term vor, but that sounds a little familiar. I am looking right now. I really want to talk to, so anybody or if you want to get the word out, I want to talk to someone who has been in a cult. Their life in a cult or a new religious movement, and whether they were born into it or they went into it. And and this is not to be sensationalized and oh my God, you were tortured, you were this, you were that. Really just want to know that process. And this is for a major network. I can't say. Very cool. But it's about what drew them to it or if they were born into it. But where was this moment where they knew they had to go?
Have you reached out at all about this yet?
I've just started.
Okay, I have some things I can send you that I think can send you to some people, because a lot of them don't come out openly about them.
Right.
But I'm obsessed with cults, and so I join groups that
She's in 15 different cults.
I also would like to start a cult of my own, but it's not like a crazy cult.
See, I've always at 16, I went and tried to research different cults because I had a world religion class, and my teacher suspended me because I should have done that. And I'm like, that we're supposed to learn.
Like, seriously? Have you seen the TikTok phenomenon about the cult that they're starting? That
No.
Oh, I'll send you that too.
Send me that. I'm going to send you the write-up, right?
Okay.
So you can see it. But it's really, because I've been obsessed with it my entire life. I think it's fascinating. I think it's more about, a lot of it's about sense of community. I know there's some twisted, sideways, upside down motherfuckers, right?
Oh yeah.
And not good and not right. Okay, can we swear on here?
Yes, of course.
No fucking way.
Watch your fucking mouth.
Yeah. But there is also, so even like Charles Manson, or you're going to, some of these other places, even the Keith Raniere, who he's a total creep, sorry. But but there's a sense of community. There's a sense of way of doing things. And I think part of that spirit, I believe that some people need that to live by, or want that to live by. And it's sad that things go sideways and upside down and they get it taken advantage of. But when I think it works, it really works.
I think it starts out always as a good intended project. And like one of my friends, Billy, always says is like, money corrupts, or, control corrupts. And so you have that one person seeking that. And then because you already have the following, they don't want to leave.
Followers. Someone's got to be the boss, right? And then power is crazy.
It is. I love cults. Oh my God.
Okay, so we're gonna talk.
Yes.
I feel like I'm like too hot on my light, maybe because the sun has gone down.
Are you trying to say you're too sexy?
Oh no! Oh my God, that's gonna be so bad. Cut that out.
So I know you're short on time and you have other things you got to get to. I just want to ask: is there anything that you want to tell our listeners or our viewers, anything at all, any kind of message?
Anybody listening, first of all, thank you for listening. And, I'm very approachable and open. Like I said, people are in my business. I want to hear people's stories. If you're interested in being on a show, if you're interested about telling your story, or something, I have a couple different platforms. I have Breaking Into Reality. I'm going to have a new podcast and a new book coming out about the reality of reality TV, but it's not ready to announce yet. Okay. But I'm very, I read every email. I may not always respond to all of them, but I try. I look at all my phone messages, and every once in a while I'll get to all of them. I do like emails easier. It's so hard to be on the phone all day long.
Yes.
But yeah, Sheila@theconlincompany.com or info@theconlincompany.com. And God, what else would I want to say? Oh, watch the Rock and Talk show on Facebook. My Hulu show coming out in the fall.
What is it called again?
I don't think we have the exact title yet, but we're kind of going the rise and fall of On Dutch right now.
Right. Okay.
Title. Yeah.
Look for it.
Yeah. But we'll stay in touch, especially when that comes out, we'll talk. And then I would love to, when I have some other things to talk about or cast or, development stuff, let's do it again.
Please come back.
If you ever just want to get mindless, let us know.
And also when your book comes out, you just come back on too,
Oh, I will. I love that.
And we'll buy it because
that has lots of secrets.
Ooh.
Yes. So we'll go through those. Well, I shouldn't say secrets. It's like never been told before stories. Some you kind of heard tonight.
Yeah. Dang it.
There's a few. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, I genuinely appreciate the amount of time that you've given us, and you're just an amazing person to talk to. Like, I love hearing about your stories, your history of what you've done in the career and the business, and it's really awesome.
You're my favorite guest that I've ever interviewed on this show.
And you've interviewed how many? 2? No, just kidding.
Now, 3 now. But I'm going to stand by that. And now this is the bar that everybody else has to hit. So
okay, good.
Yes.
The only reason I said that because I knew I said you were new.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, how many did she have?
Yeah. I'm an old soul in the show, though, you know.
There you go.
But
All right. Well, thank you guys. I so appreciate it. And let's make sure you have all my information because I definitely need to talk to you about the calls.
Yes, I will send you all
Absolutely.
like things.
Okay, great.
Bye.
Well, everyone, stay mindless.
Thank you. Yeah, be mindless.
And a little mindful.
Maybe.
Tune into Mindless.
Mindless, yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning into the Mindless Morning Show. We hope you enjoyed it, and we greatly appreciate you guys picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Now go enjoy your mindless day.